Daddy's sick. I was at a convention all weekend and parties and all of that stuff. And stupid me is like, I haven't gotten COVID. I haven't gotten sick. Not that I have COVID. I have like a gnarly cold now. But that's what happens when you try to be try to be a badass. It was like, really? You're getting a cold, dude. So literally my fault for saying that. But here I am today because I would never miss my therapy session with you all. I got out of bed, took a shower. I feel much better now because I took a shower. But that being said, I also kind of feel like this topic that I wanted to discuss today is very important on so many levels. Plus, I do really value my time with you all, and I'm not too sick that I couldn't get out of bed to do this. So know that I value all of you. Know that I will crawl to this space, even though I'm a little, I'll tell you what, rest, water, you know what I mean? Getting away from insanity, just taking time for yourself makes you better. So even from yesterday to today, I'm definitely much better. But you'll have to pardon me if every once in a while I have to blow my nose. You know what I'm saying? If I have to blow my nose or wipe my nose, I totally apologize. It's not sexy. It's not cool. But that being said, I think you all get it. So let's get into this, everybody. First off, I want to say thanks for joining me today. I do appreciate you. Why don't we first get this taken care of? Let me know where everybody's coming from today so I can give you a shout out. I see Seattle is in the house. I love doing that because I think it's so cool that we have so many different kinds of people who come from all over the world, which is pretty incredible and awesome. So tell me where you're from and while I drink my tea, and then I'll shout out where you're from, and then we'll get into this very important conversation. It's so crazy. Things are going out of control. Out of control. Here we go. Netherlands, US, Oregon, Canada, Texas, Bangor, Maine, Utah, right on, England, Michigan. Worcester, England. Wow, we're Mass. I got you. Virginia. I almost said you saw what I almost said. Poland, right on. This is so great. Thank you all so much. It really means a lot to me. Okay. Canada, North Carolina, Minnesota, Spain is in the house. Right on. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on in Spain. We should have a conversation about that, right? Illinois, Boston, Chicago, and Ohio. This is so great. Sacramento, San Diego. Right on, everybody. England. I got a lot of people from the UK. Romania is in the house, everybody. Welcome, Romania. That's so great. North Carolina, California, and Israel's in the house. Israel's in the house. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, Seth says smells like Teen Spirit. So, let's get into this. And sunny England, is that for real? Because every time I've been to England, it's been pretty crazy overcast and dark there. I go to London a lot, so maybe when I get to London soon, we could all hang out together, and maybe I can do my live from there. And Ireland's in the house, right on, people. And we got a member. Thank you so much for being a member. Thank you. I do appreciate that. It means a lot to me, you guys. All the members in the house, thank you so much. And not that I want to, if you can be a member, that's fantastic. If you can't, that's okay too. I'm not here for that. So I'm here because I care about my community, which I have left, and I care about us moving forward in the world together. And I have always coexisted with all of you. Always. My whole transition, I have coexisted with the outside world, not the trans world. And that's really what I want to sort of get back to here, and really make an effort for you all to see that what you see coming from this new trans space is not me and a lot of us over here who are just transsexuals who want to live our life. Iceland's in the house. You know what I mean? So I do think you all, New Jersey's in the house. I really do think you all see what I'm kind of saying here. And that's why I have been starting to expose these fake players in the trans community who are completely destroying so much of what we really worked hard to build. And, I'm going to keep telling you all, I have never had a hard time living as a transsexual. Most people, John says the modern trans activists don't want to live with the rest of the world. They want to control it. That's exactly right, John. I'm not a part of that. I did not transition to be apart. I was already, I mean, a distance from you. I was already that way when I didn't transition, right? So the fact that there's people saying such absurd, incredibly disrespectful, not only to trans people but to the rest of the world. When a trans woman says she gets her period, it's just insanely disrespectful to not only women but to biology and also to trans people. Actual legit real trans people know who they are. Trust me, they do. They know who and what they are. They don't want to have anything to you. I can't tell you how many trans women reach out to me and tell me thank you, Buck. I'm not pulling your leg here. They all reach out to me and tell me thank you, Buck. Please don't stop. The same thing happens with Blair. These people, there's a reason why they can't stand up to this. There's a reason why they're fearful of it. And I get it. I totally get it. You know, people do lose their jobs, right? People do kind of get pounded in this space. And it's hard to do. I get pounded a lot from the community. It's why I left the community. It's why it's freed me up to say these things. I am not a part of the trans community, not in any way, shape, or form. I am part of humanity and I am part of reality and truth. And just because I'm trans does not mean I have to, in any way, shape, or form, acknowledge what those wingnuts are saying, because they're actually going against me too. Does that make sense? They're going against me too. They're not only going against you, they're going against real trans people who have suffered with dysphoria, who have had a difficult time, getting themselves back into the world. That's what we do as trans people. We want to be a part of. We don't want to be separate from you. I want to hang out with you. I say it almost every live. And I think you're all starting to understand where people like Seth and I and Marcus and Blair and other people really don't want to be. Most of all the interviews I've done, right? You're such an important voice, Buck. I really appreciate you for what you've done for me. Oh, that's so sweet. And you all just really, really give me love, and I think that's also what I want the world to see. I want the world to see that people, like I almost said cis. Oh, I don't use that word, but it gets indoctrinated into your thought process. But people don't hate me. No, 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 no. No. So I can prove to you that people don't hate trans people. People hate idiots. People hate liars. People hate people who are trying to destroy things that work for all of us, right? I have worked with you for 30 plus years and have had an amazing life because I've worked with you. I had an interview yesterday with a trans woman. Me and her totally disagree on so many things, but it was great because her and I got to have this disagreement. But she thinks that a trans woman who has 5 o'clock shadow and might still look masculine should be able to use the women's room. I don't believe that. I 100% don't believe that. And I also don't believe that just because you're trans, you are entitled to other space. I do not believe that. I believe that trans people have to participate with you. It's up to us. She disagrees with me. She thinks it's up to you to make us feel comfortable. I have a completely different opinion about that. I think it's up to me. If I want to belong in the world looking like a dude when I'm a female, it's up to me to make sure that you're all okay and comfortable with me. That's just my opinion. She completely disagrees with me and thinks people who don't pass should be able to use. Nope, nope. That's a slippery slope. You all know that. Can I take a little break here and drink my tea for a minute? You guys just keep chatting for a minute. You know what? Ew, a lemon seed. I have this amazing lemon tree. If you saw my lemon tree, it's incredible. It has these juicy fat lemons. And so right now I'm drinking a turmeric tea with lemon and honey, and it's so awesome. But on accident, I got some seeds in there. Mm. So let's get right into this, okay? Let's get right into this. Seth says, I'll never forget when I met the governor of North Carolina, and he looked at me with a beard and said, I should use the women's room. I told him, so you want what? That actually happened, Seth? What? Did the Seth said this? That's not true, Seth. I mean, that's true that happened to you, but that's not true. I will bet you a lot of you would not want to see me or Seth in the women's room. Okay. I bet you. You would not want to see me in the women's room. Why would you even say that? That is ridiculous. Seth and I actually make an effort to pass. We actually make an effort to make you, as well as ourselves, feel comfortable. It's why Seth and I can walk the world free without any kind of negative energy from people out there. The people who get negative energy are the ones we're going to talk about today, who actually are making us all look foolish. Number one. Number two, lying to you about what's really happening. And number three, saying absurd shit like this. So I want to get into it before it gets too late and then we can't have this conversation, because I do think it's really important. So let me bring this up. AGP, 100% AGP. They're cross dressers. That this person I'm bringing up right now is 100% a cross dresser. Now, I want you to understand that that is not an insult, nor is it demeaning to that person. They're not trans. They're a cross dresser. This has been the problem of why our trans community is a mess. AGP, cross dressers, transvestites have all been thrown under the umbrella of trans. And these are the people that are causing the problems. I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you all today why these people are the ones with the loudest voices. And they're all trans women, biological men, right? Remember, they've all been socialized as men. You cannot forget this. They don't want you to hear this. Whenever I say this, people call it transphobic, but it is actually the truth. These trans women I'm going to show you today, trans women, biological males, were socialized as males up until the time they transitioned. I, on the other hand, was socialized as a female up until the time I transitioned. So 30 years of my life, I lived as a female. I have a different way of seeing things, a different way of coming at stuff. You all know that. I'm not a man. I'm not a man. I look like a man. I want to be a man, but I'm not actually a man. And that means something in this whole conversation. And I don't understand why I do. This new community is trying to gaslight you all and trying to make it seem as if biology isn't real, or they were always women, or they get their periods, or whatever the hell else is going on there. And that's gaslighting. And I'm not going to stand for it, because we don't need to lie as trans people. We need to be very honest to you, because honesty wins. Honesty always wins over everything. So let me just give you this real quick example of why. Thanks for becoming a member, my friend. Thanks for becoming a member. Totally appreciate you. So let me give you this example. That's lying, right? They're lying to your face. My kiddo right here never lies to me. Why doesn't he ever lie to me? Because I don't scold him. I tell him, dude, don't lie to me. Don't lie to me about stuff. Because if you lie to me, that's going to cause a whole other problem. Lying is deceitful, dude. Don't lie to me. And he doesn't lie to me. You know what I mean? He might have done something, then he'll come clean with it. And I'll be like, cool, dude, you came clean with it. That's all I want from you. I'm teaching my 11-year-old not to lie. I don't know where these people are coming from and why they're making shit up and expecting all of you to just agree with them when they say they get their period. Hey, New Zealand's in the house. Thank you so much. And Queens is in the house. Right on, you guys. Thank you so much. So I love being a parent. I'm going to put this little tidbit out there to you all. I'm thinking about adopting a child right now. So, I'm 61. People are pushing back on me. People are like, dude, you're too old. You can't adopt a kid. Australia's in the house. Da, 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 da. And I'm thinking to myself, I remember when people told me that I couldn't do this, right? People have always told me that I couldn't do things. I'm not that guy. Why can't, shalom, friend. I don't understand why I can't adopt a kid and I'm 61. Why? I'm not too old to adopt a kid. So when he's 10 and I'm 70, who cares? Look at me at 61, right? You don't think I'm going to be a badass at 70? Of course I am. Of course I am. And of course I'm going to be this immature dude at 70. There's no doubt about it. But I don't know why people keep pushing back on me. I really want to have a baby. And, I'm not going to get pregnant. That's not my space. There's a lot of kids who need to be adopted out there. There's a lot of kids who need loving homes. And I have a very loving home. And I have a really beautiful space to give a child who doesn't have that opportunity. And so it really feels very important to me. And also for my own self. I never wanted kids before until all of a sudden I had a kid. And then I'm like, oh my God, kids are so awesome. I have a huge responsibility to be a parent to this kid. And there's so many great things I can do to make sure this kid becomes a really great part of society, right? So you're right. A lot of grandparents raise kids. My parents raised my sister's kid while she was going through the police academy. So thanks for giving me that thumbs up, everybody, and thanks for understanding that age is just a number. It really is, and I think I'm prepared to take on a little baby. So I'm just putting that out there to let you know that I hope that happens, and we're really taking the process seriously right now, and it's a big deal. So I just want to let you know, maybe next time there'll be a little baby in my lap because I'm going to be the stay-at-home dad. My wife's career is going crazy right now. So that being said, I'm the stay-at-home dad. So it's okay. You'll have to do the live with a little crying baby in my lap. Okay, let's move forward here right now. And I want to bring up this person who said one of the most absurd things I think I've heard in a long time, right alongside of trans women get their periods. They're still saying it. Thank you all so much for the beautiful, lovely messages. I appreciate you. Thank you for seeing how beautiful it is to adopt a child. So, hey Cam, how you doing, buddy? So here we go. Let's watch this.
You didn't know that Kurt Cobain was probably trans. Here's why. First off, Kurt wore a lot of women's clothing. And when asked about this, they replied that they wore dresses all the time because they felt comfortable and free. Just look at Kurt in these pictures. They look so happy. And in an interview about their childhood, Kurt said that they mostly hung out around girls and that at one point they thought they might be gay. Many trans people who don't have the vocabulary yet to express their gender identity will describe what they're feeling as
I see you all saying, oh my God, this guy again, but wait. Just wait.
Being gay. That's exactly what I did in middle school. Kurt is also quoted as saying that they identify more with the feminine than with the masculine. This is clear proof that Kurt did not identify with the gender they were assigned at birth. And the most convincing evidence that Kurt was trans was in an early version of Nirvana's All Apologies lyrics, where Kurt wrote, "Let me grow some." That is clear-cut gender dysphoria.
You're such
and of course,
a
Kurt
loser.
will never be able to tell us themselves, but the evidence makes it pretty obvious they were trans. That might be why Kurt's no longer with us. Maybe Kurt knew that we weren't ready.
What are you talking about, you wingnut? This makes me so mad. I'm sure you all saw I put out a bunch of reaction stuff on this. Is why we're talking about today. It's disgusting. It's disgusting and wrong. And who is this person? They need to be taken off the internet. Remember the last time I showed you they were using a banana split to show penis surgery, and then they ate the cherries, which represented testicles? Who is this person? And now they're transing dead people, which is what this fake ass trans community keeps doing. These are fake trans people. That person right there, and I'm calling it out publicly today. That person, Lily, is a cross-dresser. They are not trans. And they're ruining. These are the kind of people that are ruining it for the rest of us. I'm calling on the trans community now. You have to call these people out. They're the ones who are making us all look insane. How dare you trans Kurt Cobain? Kurt Cobain was never trans, never wanted to be trans, is not trans. You think a man who wants to wear, that man did so much for all of us, okay? Including trans, cross-dressers, gays, bis, weirdos, freaky people who wanted to be freaky weirdos. He did it all for us. He made it so that we could walk the world as freaky weirdos. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Never once did he ever, and I'm a fan, okay? I even went to a Nirvana show. So don't you dare. This dude who now literally transitioned a week ago is now telling us all that now he's coming into our community, okay, and transing everyone to make himself feel better about his cross-dressing, fake-ass trans space. It's just shocking to me. This dude's going down for this one. I have no doubt in my mind. I'm watching everyone go ballistic over this particular thing. Ballistic. And they need to. Here's what I'm going to say about this. This shows you, it's why I want to expose all of this. This shows you how fake this community is. Never, ever have we done this in this community. Never would we tell somebody that they are trans. Never would we say that about a person who passed away. Never would we change somebody's identity. They're not only doing it with Kurt Cobain, you know that. They're doing that with Stonewall. They're rewriting our history and saying black trans women were the people who started Stonewall. That's a bunch of crap. That is not true. And it does not make me racist, and it does not make me transphobic. It makes me a truth seeker. I will not let them come in. Okay. And all of a sudden rewrite everything in order to appease a small group of people who are faking being trans. Okay. Those people, those black trans women, and I think Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson were transvestites. Okay. They started a group that was even called, like, I think it was STAR, which the T represented transvestites. It never said trans. Do your history. If you want, I'll do one on this next week. I'll show you all. Marsha P. Johnson here on a YouTube video saying, I'm not trans. I'm a crossdresser. She actually says it. She says, I'm a man. And we're all acting like, if you let these people change our history, we're going to have the hardest time getting it back. Not only our history, but the history of rock and roll, the history of people always playing with gender roles, which Bowie did, right? Iggy Pop, all kinds of people back in the day. I come from that space. Wearing skirts, dudes dressing 70s rock. Go look at long hair 70s, 80s rock. They all wore tight pants. They wore makeup. They had long hair. What's wrong with everybody? That does not make you anything. Nothing. It makes you experimenting with all kinds of stuff, which is what we should be encouraging young people to do. We should not be encouraging young people because they want to wear a dress and they're a boy that they're immediately trans. You've all got to see this. It is important that we expose it, not only for my health as a trans person, but for the health of the world. The last thing we want is for people to trans. That is the last resort. Do you understand what I'm saying here? That's the last resort. Nobody should just transition because they're wearing a dress or because maybe they want to wear lipstick or because they're Kurt Cobain. What? We have to push back on this, my friends. It's actually shocking that they're getting away with saying this. That video needs to be taken down off the internet. Kurt is because he wore dresses? Right, question mark. Dee Snider performed in drag constantly, but I don't see these. That's right, lunatics trying to trans him. That's next, friend. That's next. I guarantee you. Why? Because he's still alive and that's right. Great point. Thank you, friend Sage. That's right. That's a great point because he's still alive. You notice they only trans dead people. Do you notice that? I hope you notice that. They only trans dead people. That says everything. Thanks for that, friend. That says everything because dead people can't push back. They can't push back. So I'm not going to sit here and let somebody say, oh, just because somebody wore a dress, they're trans. That is dangerous. If a young kid sees that, who maybe Kurt Cobain is his idol, right? Maybe this young 15-year-old Kurt Cobain is his idol. And this wingnut is saying, well, Kurt Cobain was trans. And then this young kid says, oh, because I wear a dress now, I must be trans. You see that? That's a slippery, dangerous, scary slope we are riding on. And I'm really, hey, England, thanks for showing up. I'm really relying on all of you. We all have to push back on this nonsense. We all have to push back on it. Thank you. Thank you, Brittany. We have to, because I'm telling you, the next step is going to be something even scarier. The fact that, okay, let me bring this up right here. Let me bring this up. So the fact that trans women, right, biological males are doing this. Watch this. Where's this one I just got? This one really pisses me off. Okay, watch.
Hey y'all, do trans girls get periods? They definitely do.
What?
And so specifically, those of us
What?
who have been on hormones for a while, 100% get periods. This was suggested by someone who commented that I bring this up. For me, it didn't really kick in probably until about 6 months into
What? You're a liar.
starting
You're an
hormones.
actual liar. You're a liar. You're lying. This is what I'm trying to show you all. Slippery slope. Slippery slope. Push back against these people. And I don't care if you're not trans. Do it. I'm asking you as a trans person to start to expose these weirdos. You're not transphobic. Don't let these people gaslight you. You see what they did? They created a space where you can't speak up. Okay, right? The emperor with no clothes, whatever that one is, right? Telling you not to see that what you're seeing is not true. That's what they're doing to you right now. What you're seeing is not true. Anything you say against trans people is trans. I'm a trans person. I'm an old ass trans person. And I'm telling you what they're saying is not true. What you're saying is true. They're flipping the narrative, gaslighting you all, making you too scared to be transphobic. Fuck that shit. Be transphobic. If they're going to call me transphobic, they're most definitely going to call you transphobic. And it's not in any way, shape, or form transphobic. Want to know what's transphobic? Thank you for becoming a member, friend. I'm getting all heated up. You want to know what's transphobic? These people are transphobic. They're lying to you. Watch this. Let's finish with this wingnut.
But for me, it's usually about 5 days. The first couple days, I have really bad PMS.
You're a liar.
And then it leans.
Does anybody here know what PMS stands for? Put it in the chat. What does PMS stand for? We all know what it stands for, but I want you to write it down. And you're going to see. How is a trans woman who's a biological male having PMS? You don't. You can't. Here you go. Hey, Vicky, nice to see you, friend. Thank you. Vicky also does some videos with me. Premenstrual syndrome. That means you're getting your period if you have PMS. We know men don't get their periods. I mean, my God, if you all don't think that's gaslighting, that is 100% gaslighting. Men don't have PMS. My God. I mean, really, it's kind of funny, but it's kind of not. It's kind of messed up, man. It's kind of messed up. Let's finish with the wingnut.
Feeling kind of like bloated and icky in my body. The cliche stuff of like wanting chocolate, like it's my job.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Talk about appropriation. Wanting chocolate. Just what? What? You want chocolate because you want chocolate. It's not because you're getting your period. Plus, not every woman who gets her period wants chocolate. You weirdo. You can see what they're doing. They're literally reading stuff somewhere and taking it on. Hey, Roswell, thank you, friend. Would it be offensive if I did an Uno reverse and said I was assigned male at birth and identify as a trans man? Would be fun to piss. Why not? Do it. So you know what I say? Here's what I say. I say I'm a female who identifies as a male. That's what I am. I'm a female who identifies as a male. I'm not a male. I identify with that. I want you to see me as a man, and I'm pretty sure you all do, because I make an effort to get to that space. These people are not. This person is completely insane. Chocolate.
And I have found that I track it. I line up with my wife, which is kind of helpful.
She tracks it with her wife. Really? I doubt it. And if your wife is playing into your delusions, she needs to have a sit-down talk with Trampaw, because you're manipulating and gaslighting your wife. okay? Because you're not getting your period. And if your wife, who's possibly a biological female, is playing along with your delusions, that's even more insane.
And it's really helpful because oftentimes my thinking is really negative, and I deal with a lot of dysphoria during this period of time.
Oh my God, this person is making it up. They're making it up. They have to deal with their dysphoria during their period. Let me just tell you how damn disrespectful that is. Not only to women, okay, all of you women in this room, not only to you, but to me. I actually got my period, okay? You want to know about period dysphoria? Ask me, not some dude who's lying about ketchup between their legs. It spun me out. Every single time I got my period, I was a mess. I was literally a dude on my period. It was horrifying. So for this person to act like they're having dysphoria while they're getting their fake period is so insane. I actually got it. I can literally tell you about dysphoria and periods where most trans men can't. Okay? I didn't dump fake shit between my legs and put a pad there and pretend. It's pretend. You're playing pretend and expecting all of us to just go along with it like it's completely normal.
And so I just wanted to pop on here and say that that is definitely a thing.
Oh, they wanted to pop on here and say that's definitely a thing. No, you wanted to pop on here so that you could spew nonsense and get people to say things to you that made you feel better about lying to the world. That's why you did that. It's a TikTok video. You all do that shit on TikTok. You're a liar. You're a cheater. You're not trans. You're a fetishist. You're AGP. Let's call it out, people. Let's call it what it really is. Why are we tiptoeing around these people? What is it that why? I'm not tiptoeing around. You know, the community, I get nonsense from that community all day long. Who cares? It's not my community. You can say whatever you want to me. I don't really care. You're not my trans community. You're fake. You're full of a bunch of fake people. Cross-dressers and transvestites have taken over. If you see the majority of the voices that are coming out of the trans community, who are they? Who are the majority of the people saying these kinds of things? Who? Transgender women. AGP. Yeah, did someone write here? I think you did. You expelled what it is. I saw somebody say that they don't aggressive trans women. That's exactly right. That they're not trans. They're not. They're cross-dressers. So let me show you AGP. Thank you for writing that. AGP is autogynephilia. And autogynephilia is the love of self, okay? So we're starting to see a lot of AGP. Now, that being said, I don't want to shame because that's not my space. What I want to say here is you're not trans. You're AGP. Me and a person who has AGP are totally different. I have actual real gender dysphoria. I want to look like a man. I want you to see me as a man. I don't get off on looking like a man. It's not sexual to me. Where AGP people are very sexualizing themselves. They like to feel, it makes them feel sexy and it makes them feel they're fetishizing women. They're fetishizing women. That's why they say they have a period. That's a fetish, right? It's like me saying I'm shooting sperm because I want to be a man so bad, right? I would never say that. That's a complete lie. Right. They're not AGP are not trans. They're AGP. It's totally different. Just like cross-dressers are not trans. They're cross-dressers, right? So now the cross-dressers have infiltrated. That person I just showed you is a cross-dresser. They infiltrated our community, speaking over people like me, attacking me, saying Kurt Cobain is trans. You know why they're saying Kurt Cobain is trans? To make themselves feel better. Here's a great question from somebody. Wait, not that yours is, but here, hold on. This thing moves so fast. That's a great question. That's an excellent question. What is queer? So I'll explain to you what I think queer is and what I have known to be queer since I've been a part of the LGBT community for 40 something years. Queer started out as a slur against gay men. Okay, that was probably started in the 50s or something. They would call them queers. It was derogatory, it was hateful, it was nasty. We move forward to the 70s and 80s. A lot of gay men reclaimed that word and called themselves queer, right? Because they wanted to not have it as a slur. And that's how you make it into a better, more positive space, right? It's why I reclaim the word tranny. It doesn't feel derogatory to me. It feels like it's just kind of a term of endearment. So queer relates to gay. Now, 100%, nothing else. The only people that can label themselves as queer are people who are gay. Today, I see a lot of people who are not gay claiming to be queer. I see straight couples. And you want to know how they're justifying that? They're calling themselves non-binary. Non-binary. So they're saying non-binary people can be queer because they are neither men nor women. I go, what? You're not making any sense. There is one single definition for queer. Queer equals gay, period. If you're not gay, you're not queer. You can't use that label. No, you cannot. No, I'll call you out. I'll call you out. So now today we have so many straight people saying they're queer because they want to be part of this community. They do. They're the ones who are completely destroying everything. The fake trans, the fake queers, people have infiltrated our space. Hey, James, thank you so much, friend. That means a lot. Thank you, friend. Thank you, Buck. You are a light in the darkness. It's dark, dude. It's fucking dark. Should I buy you all flashlights? Maybe I should start selling flashlights. That's kind of funny to help us get through the dark, right? My girlfriend and I would like to invite you and your family over to Shabbat dinner in Vancouver. We would love that. Definitely when I come to Vancouver, I would love that. Thank you. That really means a lot to me. You know, I do Shabbat every Friday. I love it. It's so great. My family is Jewish and we very much value that time. And Judaism has been a gift to me. Who's ever out there who is Jewish or, Judaism is very spiritual. Whatever you know about it, I don't know. But I grew up as a Baptist and that felt very angry to me. And so I kind of disconnected from, religion. I don't even look at Judaism to me as religion. I look at it more as a spiritual space for me. And spirituality is important to me. I do a lot of kinds of different things, but Judaism and just the teachings of it are so powerful. One of the things, before I got a little sidetracked, but one of the things I want to say is that Judaism really encourages questions, which I don't think you all know that, or if you don't know it, that's one of the most powerful parts to me about the Judaism space. Questions, question everything, question. You're allowed to question, which is so amazing and so beautiful. When I was in my Christian space, and I'm not saying they don't say that, but in the space I was in, we weren't allowed to ask questions. We just had to listen and be sort of told how to be. So one of the things that I really value in my learning of Judaism is questioning. And really, it's been a very powerful space for me. So thank you for the invite. I most definitely take you up on that. And I hope people out there are understanding the Israeli-Palestine thing is very difficult. It's why I don't talk about it a lot, okay? I think it gets people sidetracked, and I think unless you really have a connection to that, you should stay out of it on some level. I'm actually appalled at what's happening in this country, and people aren't listening, and the anti-Semitism is out of control, and it's just yucky. So that's just what I want to say. So, hey, Meg, thank you so much. Hey, just saw you and Dean from, oh, yay. Yeah, I was at a show all weekend. It's why I'm sick. So I feel myself getting all sweaty here. We're going to have to maybe make it a little short today because I feel like it's a lot. So I want to bring up a couple videos that I took from scary ass TikTok. You all know that I keep getting nailed on TikTok. I'm going to lose my TikTok thing. People report my stuff constantly. It's so crazy. So I don't really care. I don't really care if I get kicked off TikTok. On some level, I kind of want to. Then I can kind of use it in my space. I got kicked off TikTok for saying the truth. It's so crazy. So let me This is just annoying, you guys. Okay, so let me bring up this one.
First, the reason I identify as lesbian, and everybody's like, that's not a gender identity. I do not like to identify myself by a lack. I say, like, I don't identify lesbianism as being not attracted to men, because that's not telling me what you are, it's telling me what you're not. I define my lesbianism through who I do feel in community with. And I want to do the same with my gender. And lesbian is what fits accurately. When I think about who I feel connected to via an experience that feels connected to gender, it's lesbianism. It's not girls. So first, the reason
wait a minute here. How can you be a lesbian and not attracted to girls? You see what they're doing? They are manipulating, gaslighting. There is an actual, factual definition for lesbian. Okay? For lesbian. Do we all know what a lesbian is? Everyone in the chat right now, put what a definition for a lesbian is while I drink a little bit of my tea. Please, I want to know if you all understand what a lesbian is, because I do. I was one. What is a lesbian? This person is telling you that they can be a lesbian without being attracted to women. Then why are you a lesbian? Why are you? That's not true. A woman attracted to a woman. We're really having this conversation, friends. A woman attracted to a woman. Real basic. Now, the next question. Did the fool finish? The next question I want to ask you. Oh my God. It's just unbelievable to me. It's just. So wait, this person asked this question here. I want to get back to this. Hey, Buck Angel, how does the LGBTQ deal with someone transitioning, becoming straight? No, I mean, on some level, I'm straight. I mean, I don't know how to even answer that question. Because here's the situation. I have a wife, right? And I have a kid, right? And I'm a biological female. So, I mean, at face value, when her and I walk down the street with our kid, we just look like a regular family of a man and a woman and a kid, right? I don't identify, I think, as straight, but I think that because that's not important to me. The important part of my identification is more my my sex and my gender. It's not necessarily my sexuality, if that makes sense. So at face value, her and I look like a straight couple. But I guess in sort of reality and truth, are we a straight couple or are we a gay couple? Or are we lesbians? And it doesn't affect me. It doesn't make me feel uncomfortable if you said that you must be lesbians at all. Why would it? Being a lesbian isn't a bad thing, nor is it like so part of my identity that I would care so much. Because, I do care about truth. And if the truth really does matter, then let's be honest here. I'm a biological female who's with another biological female. And with the definition of lesbian is a woman who loves a woman. So I don't identify as a woman, but I hope you understand what I'm all talking about, right? Do you see that? I want to be 100% honest with you all. My lesbian daughter's face hearing that. I know it'd be funny if really I was lesbian, but I'm trying to be real here with you all. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be real with you all. So I can't say one thing over here and then pretend I'm not part of that, if that makes sense. I'm all about being honest with you. If you want to look at me as a lesbian, you go right ahead. It doesn't bother me. If you want to look at me as a straight man, you go right ahead. Doesn't bother me. Whatever. I mean, I'm attracted to both male and females. So I would say on some level, I'm a bisexual person, right? Who cares? But these people here who are claiming to be lesbians, who are biological males, okay? Biological males. Let's be honest here. So if they are with a woman, right, calling themselves, yeah, I'm bisexual, calling themselves lesbians, right? Are they lesbians? Is that they're identifying as lesbians, but are they actual lesbian? And who cares? You're right. Really, who cares? But actually, CMD, a lot of us care. I mean, I wish we didn't have to care, but the reason why we have to care is because these people are making a mockery out of us. Not only that, there are some women who are not comfortable with trans women in their space as lesbians, and they have every right to be uncomfortable with that. It's as if I'm going into a gay man space and they might be uncomfortable. I'm leaving. I'm fucking out of there. I don't want to be around people who don't like me or want to be a part of that. So when women like this next one I'm going to bring up do these kinds of things, it makes people feel uncomfortable. And instead of understanding why maybe an actual lesbian would not feel comfortable with this person in their space, they're pushing hard, which is what men do, by the way. You're going to see the male behavior here, okay? Okay? Hey, New York, you're never late. You made it. So here, I want to, yeah, I care too. I said it at first, but then I realized what I was saying. I realized what I was saying, B. I do care. It's why I talk about it. So no, we do care. The reason we care, so we used to not care about people's sexuality or their identity. We used to not care about it. If they were happy and moved forward in the world, that's all we cared about. But today these people are making a mockery of it. And it's not fair to people who are actual real lesbians. Just because you transition from a man to live your life as a woman does not mean you get invited to the table. Do you understand that? You don't just get invited to the table because you're identifying as something. That's ridiculous. You have to be invited to the table. Go to the lesbian spaces where they're okay with trans women. Don't go to the lesbian spaces where you're not, okay? No, we didn't care. No, that's not true. How old are you? How old are you? Because that's not true. We didn't care back in the day. About 30, 40 years ago, we all just did our thing. And people were super cool about it, specifically in the LGBT community. I'm telling you, it's my experience. It's my experience. So I want to bring up this one right here. You're 15. Well, there you go. You're 15, my friend. I'm 61. Do you think a 15-year-old has the same experience as a 61-year-old? Really? I think not, friend. You're 15, 1-5. You've had 15 years of experience on this earth. I'm not in any way, shape, or form not saying you're not allowed to have an opinion. You are. But if you want to learn something, you might listen to a 61-year-old transsexual. You'll learn a lot. Okay, kiddo? So you're 15. Trust me, back in the day, we didn't care. It's today's messy LGBTQIA plus PP poo poo community that has ruined it for us all. Thank you, kiddo. I appreciate you saying okay. That means a lot to me. That does. It really does. So I'm going to bring this one up and then I'm so sweaty. I got to go take another shower. I'm dying here. Oh my God, the cold is taking over. Okay, hold on. Here we go.
Being queer and being bigoted at the same time. Roll clip.
We're transbians. T for T, more like B for B.
Okay, transbians. I'm cool with that. Why don't they call themselves transbians? There you go. They're not lesbians. They're transbians. There you go. I have no issue with that. You create your own space and you move forward, and all you transbians can have sex with each other and like each other and date each other, and you can have your own transbian parties and everyone's cool with it. And now you didn't mess with the lesbian space. That I'm totally cool with, but watch.
Absolutely adorable. Fucking love it.
Is that really our flag you've got flying in the corner and you're calling yourself a lesbian?
Yep, our flag. That is our.
So now the transbians, they have their own flag, of course. Everyone has a flag now. They made a transbian flag. It's just, you can't fucking write this shit, man. This is Saturday Night Live. This is literally Saturday Night Live. A transbian flag. And also, check this one's energy out, okay? Hold on here. Okay, thank you, Magris. Thank you so much. My question was from the point of view of the LGBTQ mindset. They exclude straight people in the name. It seems they would, yes, disown anyone who transitioned and became straight. Yeah, that's a great question. I think so. I think you're right about that, 100%. I don't identify as straight, right? Like I said earlier, but some people do, and you might be right. They might just ostracise them from the community because they're so sensitive. They're overly sensitive, but you cannot be queer and straight. You can't. And you can't be a man and a lesbian. You can't. I don't care how you identify. Let's say I want to identify as a dog. Let's say I want to identify as a husky, okay? And there's a whole pack of huskies, okay? And I get on all four real huskies, like actual real dog huskies, right? And I identify as a husky. And I get on all fours and I run with the pack. Now, do you think the pack of huskies are going to be cool with me, who identifies as a husky, to be part of their group? No, no. They're going to sniff me out in 2 seconds. And they're going to be like, no, you're not a dog and you're not a husky. We can smell it a mile away. Get out of our pack right now. That's exactly what's happening. These transbians are pretending to be lesbians, and they're hanging out with the trying to infiltrate into the pack, but everyone can smell them. You're not a lesbian. You're actually a man who's trying to be a lesbian. And if you want to identify like that, I got to reiterate this. If you as a trans woman want to identify as a lesbian, you go right ahead. Okay? But there's a big ass but between this. But don't expect everybody else to play along with you. Seriously, I'm not kidding. You can identify as you want, but if you're not invited to the table, respect that. Okay? Because that's the part of being trans. I don't know. I don't understand how this has gotten to this space. Trans people know where we fit in and why we fit in. If somebody doesn't want to hang out with me or invite me to the table, I'm not coming. Sorry, but that's part of being trans. You've got to understand that, and you've got to deal with it in a healthy manner. And the healthy manner says, I'm going to be truthful to myself. I'm a biological female. I'm not invited to the gay man's party because they don't want me there. Sorry, hurt my feelings. Maybe it hurts my feelings, but get the fuck over it, dude. Go find another space where people are. This is what I've done my whole 31 years of transition, to actually be invited to the gay man's table eventually, because I didn't push my way in. I respected it until eventually they were like, Buck's cool. Buck's not going to do things that are going to make us uncomfortable here. Buck's going to respect us at the table. You've got to respect women in order to be invited into the women's space. I'm talking directly to you trans women out there who are so disrespectful.
Because me, you, she, we are all lesbians.
The fuck you playing at?
Nothing?
You're straight man. Straight man.
So these women, these gay women, are calling this dude out. He's like, I'm a lesbian. And they're calling him out saying, nope, you're actually a straight dude. I mean, it's kind of funny, actually. Nobody really wants to hear the truth. You know that. Nobody wants to hear the truth. Ever.
Oh, I see the confusion now. Lesbians are women attracted to women. She is a woman who is attracted to women. So she's a lesbian.
Who is...
You see how he's gaslighting now? You see that? How he said, I see women are attracted to women. And he's basically going around in circles saying that because this trans woman identifies as a woman, she's a lesbian. Nope. Sorry. Nope. Sorry. I don't care how you identify. I really don't. We're talking about reality here.
Sexually getting off in what you're doing right now.
Because she's transgender, because she's a lesbian. That's not how this works either. We don't affirm ourselves because of who we're attracted to. We affirm ourselves because of who we are.
Liar, liar, total liar. And do you feel the energy? Do you see the energy? You see it? It gets even better.
Do you know, right, how disgustingly disrespectful that is towards the transgender community?
Hi, transgender community member right here. I got it right on my sleeve, right on my sleeve. Also the lesbian flag too. But yeah.
Wait a minute, you guys. Did you actually see what I just saw? Did you see what I just saw? Do you want me to replay it a little bit? That person literally said they are a lesbian and part of the community. Wait. I'm just going to re-roll this because it's brilliant. Wait, hold on.
I don't feel disrespectful.
Hold on. Wait. The tattoo. So this person is saying, oh no, I'm a part of the community. I got a tattoo. I got a tattoo that says I'm part of the community. Wait, watch. that makes them a lesbian. Now tattoos make you lesbian. Hold on here.
Disrespectful that is towards the transgender community.
Hi, transgender community member right here. I got it right on my sleeve, Also the lesbian flag too. But yeah.
They put the lesbian flag on their arm, so now they're a lesbian. This is how absurd it's all become. This is how absurd it has all become. Wow. Yeah, you got a tattoo of a hogwart. Now you're a hogwart. I mean, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. These people are being disingenuous. They're liars. They're trying so hard to be invited to the table. They want to be a part of lesbianism. Why? Why do you think they want so bad to be lesbians? Why can't they just be respectful to women, especially to the women who don't want them at the table? I don't get it. I don't get it. You should get a woman tattoo. Totally. It's unbelievable the stuff that comes out of their mouths. I think if they looked back, oh gosh, you wait, in 5 years, all of these people I showed you today are going to look back on their shit cringing so hard. It's crazy. So don't forget, y'all, tattoos make you gay and tattoos make you a lesbian. It's just absurd. Yeah, they hate women. I do believe there's some misogyny involved in this. I do. I think they're jealous of women, these particular kinds. I have a lot of trans women friends who are amazing, beautiful. You would love them. They're not like this. They respect all of you women out there. They do. They very much do. I will tell you that. I'm around them. They hate these trans women. They're disgusted by them. So I really want you to know there is a large group of trans women who are not okay with this stuff, and they would never ever do these kinds of things that you are seeing. Okay, so I think the person here asked, what are they jealous of? I think they just want to be women. They want so bad to be a woman, and they're not, that it makes them angry, right? It makes them very, very angry, and they react because they're not women, and they can't seem to just take that on, right? The more I say to you that I'm a biological female and that I'm attached to my masculinity and I feel comfortable being in this space, I can tell you that it also does wonders for me. Being able to be very honest and open in the world is huge for people and their psyche and the reality that you walk the world every day. That's why I very much push reality out into the world, because if you're going to lie about who you are, it is only going to hurt you. Okay? It's going to come back on you tenfold. If you lie about your alcoholism, if you lie about your drug addiction, if you lie about whatever addictions are going on, it'll catch up with you. I know, because I'm that guy. And eventually I had to get sober because it caught up with me. And it was either this way or that way. So what I think I'm trying to say here is that there are many new aspects of this trans community that have become very rotten and dirty and disrespectful and trying to change our history, right? These are AGP trans women who are coming in and trying to change our history. Like specifically that one I showed you who's trying to trans Kurt Cobain. We've lost our way when that stuff starts to happen. That is not our job as trans people, to trans other people. That is not. That is so disrespectful on so many levels. It is pathetic. And number one, it is regressive. We are now getting into a space where all of a sudden a man can't wear a dress because that makes him a trans, not even gay. Remember they used to say, oh, if you're wearing a dress, you must be gay. Now it's like, if you're wearing a dress, you must be trans. And now they're digging into our history. You watch, who's going to be the next one? David Bowie, Prince. These people are not healthy for our community. They're not healthy to help us move forward in the world. And they're not healthy for me as a trans person, okay? I don't like it. And I don't like to feel like I need to be deceitful to you. It is not my space, and I never will be my space. I feel very much. Wait, hold on. Sorry, dude. You're writing way too many things, man. Grease. I'm trying to have this conversation. The transing other people is scary. Yes, I agree. I'm worried for my son. I can't describe how important your voice is on this. Thank you very much. as all of you should be. Thank you, Mangrease. As all of you should be. You should be scared for your children right now. They're coming. They are. I don't care what anybody says. They want to trans young people. And why do you think they want to trans young people? Not only because of money and that, but the people who are running the show, it makes them feel that if they start to trans children, then it gives them some form of legitimacy. That's how twisted this whole movement is. Trans is very, very, very small disorder. The majority of people who are transitioning today do not have gender dysphoria. They have not even been diagnosed with dysphoric feelings. They've just been given hormones because you can get it on the internet now. You can get it from anywhere you need to get it from legally. That's what you all should know. They never did this in this community before. Hormones should not be accessible in 20 minutes, ever. It's a controlled substance. It needs to be hard to get to until you have been in a space mentally that enables you to make this irreversible choice. I don't understand what's happening, especially with children. If you as an adult need to do that, you go right ahead, friend. But when you start doing that to kids, we all need to stand up, every single one of us. It is our duty and our job to stand in front of the children to make sure that they get to a space where they can make that choice on their own, not the parents, not us as a community, not build a system to transition 10-year-olds. What is happening? Why would we ever want to transition a 10-year-old? Ever. It's sick and twisted and wrong. And I'm going to tell you that. I do not believe that those kids will benefit from that. They won't. There are 53,000 detransition. I don't know if they're all detransitioners, but 53,000 people in a group called detransitioners on Reddit. That should alarm all of us. They hide it. The trans community hides it. That should also alarm you. Why would they want to hide these statistics? There's something very, very sinister going on. And I promise you, I will not stop. I will not. These kids mean a lot to me. And these kids are not being given a fair chance. They are being told a lie in order to appease adults. And that is the scariest thing I have ever seen in my whole life. The fact that adults would be a part of this is so twisted and so gnarly and just actually, I don't even know what to say other than that. It's real. I've lost hope on some level with the adults in this world. They're not stepping up. They're not. They're hiding. And people are fearful because you could lose things if you say things about the trans community. Doesn't that make you wonder why? Why? Why do we get called transphobic? Why do me and you get called bad people? Why do we get called that we're killing children because we don't want to transition them? Why? That's gaslighting. They're trying to stop us from saying this because they know what we're saying is true. The only reason why anyone would want to stop us from saying this is because they know it's true. I value you all. I better get back to bed. I finished my tea. Thank you so much for caring about the kids. The adults are on their own. They're going to have to figure it out. These wing nuts doing this stuff, we have to shut them down. And I won't stop. I won't stop. I will not stop speaking out for the kids. I won't. I don't care what anybody says. I won't. I've left the trans community. I'll keep saying it. So it doesn't matter what they say about me. I'm not part of that. I'm part of reality and truth. And I care about kids and I care about women. Okay. And every one of us should. As much as we've fought for women's rights, to watch what's happening today, by trans women who are men doing that to women, and we're all acting like it's okay. What? I don't care if you're a trans woman. You go right ahead and live your life, but don't you dare. Nobody's rights trump other people's rights. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that. Just because you're a trans woman doesn't mean that you get to override women's rights. You don't. You do not get to do that. It's upsetting and infuriating, but let's hopefully make a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. I love you all so much. Thank you. Have a beautiful, awesome day. I'm going back to bed. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. We have a new video coming out real soon. I'll be doing a lot more reaction videos. I did the community poll, and you all seem to really want me to do much more of the reaction videos. So I appreciate that. You see, those are important to me because I am pushing back on this community. Hey, Cecilia, thank you so much. My comment in your reaction video was removed. What? Wow. What comment was it, Cecilia? Do you guys all see that before I leave real quick? What? I know they're watching me here. I thought for sure YouTube was going to be cool with me. I'm so blown away. How can you remove a comment? How can you remove a comment? How is that freedom of speech? How are we all supposed to communicate with each other? How are you not allowed to have an opinion? There's people who come on here and hate me. I let them do it. I don't block. Just go ahead, hate me all you want. How is this a two-way street? It's not. It's a one-way street. Anyway, I'm sorry. So Cecilia, basically I said that girls will. Here, wait. Let me find you right here. Basically, I said that girls will FAFO and that the insanity needs to stop. And they said that was hate speech. Wow, that's actually shocking. There's nothing hateful about it. Wow. Okay, I'll have to think about that while I'm in bed. Getting pissed off now. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day. We'll be releasing some new videos very soon. Keep pushing against this nonsense, and hopefully we'll start to see some light out there. Thank you for all your love, and I'll see you guys on the next one.